Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to be redesigning some characters in Yandere Simulator. I don't want to waste too much time on the intro, so let's get right into things. The first character I'm going to be redesigning is the protagonist of the game, Ayano Aishi, who is the Yandere in Yandere Simulator. Traditional character design is super bland, and I do sort of respect that to an extent, but I did want to switch up her character design a bit. In fact, in this design I mostly refer back to one of the original concept arts for her character, which you might have seen. I'll put it on the screen now, and it has her hair and these like cute little horns. I love that. I also completely redid my original sketch because I kind of hated it. I actually went into my sketchbook and did some quick sketches of what I wanted to do with Ayano, and then I came back to things. But yeah, my design philosophy for Ayano is I wanted to have her definitely a lot more creepy looking, but still cute, yandere-esque, right? Because the whole point of a yandere is you have this violent side and then you have this cute side, and I feel like you didn't really get that in the original design. So yeah. One of the main concepts that I wanted to use for my character designs was that I think is different to what a lot of other YouTubers have done, which I love, by the way. I love their other redesigns. I'll link them down in the description because you should go watch them. They're great. But anyways, they tend to look at Yandere Simulator from a more realistic angle, and I just find in a game like this, that's not really something that you want to do. The premise of the game is already, one, ridiculous, and two, like really violent and just not something that should be happening in real life. So I'm not sure why you'd want to make something like that realistic willingly. I think that the best angle to take on a game like Yandere Simulator is to sort of come at it from a more comedic angle, right? And that's what I wanted to do with these redesigns. Keep the designs tropey and lighthearted. One of the big inspirations for this idea was the anime Psyche-K, which you may have heard of. It is amazing. You have this cast of like very tropey, stereotypical characters, but it's also like a hilarious anime. And I think that's what people were drawn to by Yandere Simulator originally. The fact that it's silly. The idea of like being a high school girl, like a yandere high school girl, and killing all the classmates, you know. Markiplier back in the early days making jokes about Boobs Mackenzie and whatever. That's what drew people into the fandom. I think that was the most fun aspect of the game. You know, I think when you try and make it ultra serious by coming up for explanations on why someone would want to kill all these high school girls, like things just get a bit dark. And that's not really what I wanted to do. But I totally respect, you know, some people have pulled that off really well. The only other big change I made to Ayano and the rest of the designs is that I pretty drastically changed the uniform. As you may know, the original uniform for Yandere Simulator is actually a middle school uniform. And I think for a game with a premise about like killing girls, and like in the original game you have the really gross panty shot mechanic, which would not be in the game if I was redesigning it. I think that is a very odd choice to make. So I redesigned the uniform to look a little bit more in line with a high school uniform while trying to maintain the color palette for the original. I think it does look a little bit closer to the blue version of the uniform, but I still kind of like it overall. I kind of dig it. Back to my ideas for these redesigns. I think it was Kalimara who really went down that route, and she came up with like this whole big, it's been a while since I've watched her video, but it's great. I think that she had a good angle on it, but the one thing I didn't want to do personally was make the storyline super dark. Like I said before, I just think it should be kept sort of funny and lighthearted, you know? So I tried to incorporate that a bit into Ayano's design. Yes, it's a bit on the nose, you know. She's got literal devil horns poking out the sides of her hair to show that there's something a little wrong with her. But I tried to make her a little bit cute as well, you know, big eyes and all of that. I would like to apologize a bit for the final result of this design. You'll see that the coloring looks really dark, and I noticed this when I finished the other two designs, because her coloring looks a lot darker than those two, and yeah, there wasn't actually anything I could do because I stupidly combined all the layers on her coloring really early to like do some sort of overlay thing. I don't really know why. But yeah, I hope you sort of see what I was going for anyway, and I hope that you enjoy her design overall. The next character I'm going to be redesigning is obviously Senpai, who has received quite a few major changes in the redesigns that I have seen of him. As for me personally, controversially, I'm not going to be changing his design very much. There wasn't really much I did with this drawing besides giving him a different uniform. I mean, the main reason I wanted to even include him in this redesign video is to show what the male uniform would look like, because I'm thinking of having some male rivals later on. Speaking of rivals, as there's not a whole lot to say about Senpai, I'd like to speak just a little bit about what I would do with them. In the redesigns I'm doing, I would not have Osana as the first rival. She is Senpai's childhood friend. They are probably the closest out of all the rivals. She would definitely be, for me, like maybe the 7th or the 8th rival. I have still included her in this video for simplicity's sake, but yeah, just know she would not be the first rival in my book. I was actually thinking of maybe having Coconut as the first rival, because I think it sort of doesn't make sense that she wasn't the first rival, because Yandere, or Alex Mayhan as he hates to be called, put all this effort into putting her in the game and then like completely removed all of her rival plots when he was done with her. That was silly. But yeah, I guess we'll see if I do another one of these redesign videos, and then we could see Coconut maybe. Back to Senpai, you may be wondering, but Kat, why didn't you want to completely redesign him? Because his character design is so basic and so boring. And that is exactly why I want to keep it the same. I think that one of the funniest parts of Yandere Simulator for me was the fact that there are literally 10 girls, these very pretty girls, mind you, and a whole yandere, and they're totally obsessed with this guy who does nothing but read all day. I think it's kind of funny and sadly like a little bit reflective of how girls are today a little bit. At least in my experience, all of my beautiful girlfriends have been whisked away by these evil men with no personalities, so I guess I wanted to simulate reality a bit in this redesign. The only change I would really make to Senpai, his character and his story, is that I would have him become really distraught, depending on how you kill the rivals and which rivals you kill. For example, if he saw like Osana's body on the floor covered in blood, I would expect him to be like very upset about it, because he's her childhood friend and he should care about her a lot. And I think that the punishment for killing too many rivals in gruesome ways would be like Senpai at the end of the game is like, oh, you killed them, which is what I drew here in this little sketch just for fun. I hope you like this final result. It's not my favorite out of the 3 just because it's a basic character design, but I guess that fits Senpai, right? So yeah, hope you enjoy. So we have now gotten to my favorite redesign that I've done out of the 3 I did today, Osana. She is definitely the redesign I put the most effort into, because in the actual game I genuinely just love her character. I think she's so cute. I love how she's so obsessed with cats. That's like me. And I like the tsundere aspect of her personality. I think that tsunderes, if you do them well, they can be really fun characters and really silly to watch. For example, my favorite DDLC girl, controversial, but it's Natsuki. She's so adorable. I love when characters have interests that are similar to mine. Like, I'm pretty sure Osana in the game, she's really into anime as well. Or she writes fan fiction or something. Like, that's her embarrassing secret that you can tell Infochan about. Oh, I forgot to mention, Infochan would not be a part of the game if I was redesigning it. I think that well, not only the panty shot system is weird, but the whole point is it's a yandere simulator, and like you're meant to be the yandere. You're supposed to be the crazy one doing all this crazy stuff, stalking senpai, stalking the rivals. If you have some other girl to do that for you, then you kind of lose the point of the game. So I think to gain info and gain like drops like you would do from Infochan in the original game, the stuff that you need should be around the school map, or you should be able to find info by following students, or in this case following the rivals or following senpai. As I was saying before, if I was to redesign Yandere Simulator, I would definitely have Osana be one of the later rivals, and I would have her be difficult to kill. I'm not sure about if I would have Raibaru in the game. I think that makes her difficult to defeat in the original. But again, like it, you know, her being a tsundere, that's part of her character, and that should be the main part of her elimination as a rival. And I think that her connection as being one of Senpai's childhood friends, that should be what makes her difficult to eliminate, you know? I think that if I was to redesign the game, I would have her always following Senpai around and everything, so it's difficult to get them apart and for you to kill Osana. I was thinking though just now, instead of having Raibaru be this like invincible rival that always follows Osana around, maybe having her as the matchmaking interest for Osana rather than period head. I think that would be a cool little change. The only major change I would say I made to Osana is I changed her body type a bit. I'm not sure you can see it that clearly in this particular drawing because it's from like a head-up perspective, so the angle's kind of shifted. Oh, head up, Deftones reference. But yeah, I would have her be a little bit chubbier. I just think it's cute. I think it works with her character, and I don't like the emphasis on putting Amai as like the only plus size character. I think that that's a really poor decision just because she works in a bakery. I just think that's a bit on the nose, you know? And besides, if you work in a bakery, you're not really eating the treats, you're more selling them, aren't you? But yeah, anyways, I made her a little bit more chubby, and I also changed her skin tone a little bit as well. I made her a little bit tanned. Again, I just think this fit with the more warm tones of her design. In the future, I would definitely have characters of like different races. And yeah, I don't really care if it's a Japanese school. Even in Japanese school, you have exchange students and stuff. I just think it's weird to not include that. I'm an Asian person myself, you know, person of color, so yeah, don't come after me for for only having Japanese characters in this redesign. I will include people of color. Going ahead, one thing I do want to keep from the original designs and character concepts is the names, which is a strange decision, but again, I just think they're ridiculous and funny. Like Osana's name in Japanese, I swear it literally Osana Najimi translates to childhood friend, and I just think that's so on the nose and funny. Senpai is also a ridiculous name. Like that has no actual connotations. No one calls him Taro, they all call him Senpai, but then in the game I swear they're all in the same year anyway, so yeah, whatever. And Ayano Aishi, I just thought that was too iconic to change. In the future, I might make a few name changes if I really don't like any of them, but I think I will probably keep most of them the same. Another thing I'd keep from the original game is the canon eliminations for each rival. I just think they'd be kind of funny. You know, like the pool elimination for Osana and stuff with her long pigtails, so I wanted to keep that aspect of her design. Another thing I wanted to emphasize in her design is her cuteness and her likeness to a cat, so I gave her really big eyes, you can see that in the sketch, and I made her pigtails a little bit spikier at the top to add a bit of spike to her design, show that she's you know, a bit tough but also like a cat cute. I'm really happy with how the final design for Osana turned out. I hope you like it too. Yeah. Hello, If you're still watching, thank you so much. Here I'd just like to speak a bit about what I want to do in the future in terms of videos and show off the promised drawings in my sketchbook for the concepts for these redesigns. So I did really enjoy doing the redesigns for this video. They did take me forever, and while editing this I basically crashed out because I started using DaVinci to edit it, and for some reason my computer just completely could not take DaVinci. Like, oh my god, it was so bad. So I had to switch to this new program, Shotcut, which I'm recording on right now, and totally redo my voiceover because the original one was like 30 minutes long. So I've cut down for you guys. I hope you appreciate it. You don't have to hear my yap for as long now. But yeah, that's besides the point. I would be totally interested in doing future redesigns for Yandere Simulator. I have some great ideas for future rivals, I think. So if you guys want to see that, then let me know in the comments. Another thing I thought about doing is doing redesigns for other games in series. So at the moment I'm really into Deltarune, and I haven't seen much of this recently, but I thought about doing some, I think they're called Jijinka designs of the Deltarune characters, so turning their animal/monster forms into humans. I thought that would be a cute idea. Or I thought about redrawing some of the characters from Total Drama Island, which I've just discovered and become like totally obsessed with like yesterday. But yeah, if you guys fancy any of these ideas, please leave them in the comments. And if you're still watching, genuinely thank you so much. I haven't posted a video on here since that silly how to buy cosplays video like a year ago, and I've completely rebranded my channel since then. I've gone from Starcat to Around the Cat Fur, basically because I wanted to shift my content. So I want to do more art, like redesigns like I just talked about, but I also thought about doing music reviews because, in case you didn't know, I am really not very normal about music. And if you guys are interested in that, I would love to yap about music to everyone here. But yeah, lots of exciting things coming up. I'm on summer break right now, so that's what I'm doing. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video, and I hope you all have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.